Good afternoon, Dirt Track Central fans. Matt Kovacic again, out here at the Salina Central Mall Midwest Dirt Car Show, talking today with Brandon Gray. He's a Modlite driver from Salina, Kansas, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Tell us first of all a little bit about your racing program this year.
Well, hopefully we can just make all the races and be as successful as we were the last couple of years. Got points at Salina in 2012 and also Minneapolis in 2011. So it's always a good hope to back it up a third time, but you never know. I mean, I just hope to make all the races.
And this class, just like we've been talking with over here with Jesse and the sport mods, the bar gets raised every year. Everybody wants to keep up with you. The equipment continues to get better. Not necessarily that the technology has changed a ton, but just getting better equipment in our area and people better knowledge of what does what, that kind of thing.
Absolutely, and we're getting a couple drivers back in the class this year. We got Justin Kinnerconnect coming back out of late models again. He's always a good shoe. So the competition as far as drivers are going to be, back in there too, along with the equipment. People are always buying normally good used cars and then stepping up to newer equipment, better equipment, and when newer equipment comes in, drivers have more seasons on their belt. They're going to be a better shoe. So.
Well, the Modlites is something that the national fans may not have quite as good of a knowledge as to what a Modlite is versus the modifieds, the sport mods, all that kind of nationwide stuff. And these cars are nationwide, but kind of give us an overview of how these got to this area and what the car is.
Well, the Modlites came from the original Dorf cars, which started, I believe, out in Arizona. And then I'm not for sure how they went from Arizona to the Delaware area, but Modlites pretty much took over in the year 2000, I believe, out in Delaware. And now there's about a half a dozen national producing manufacturers for the cars. A lot of the rule packages out there are pushing for the 1,000cc classes or motorcycle engines. And that's currently what I run. Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha, and Honda are the main four leaders in the motor department. As far as how they got from Delaware to Kansas, I think it's just a happy medium coming from there and clashing here. But I kind of got me and a couple other friends of mine went and bought some cars out in Texas and Arkansas and brought them to the central Kansas area. Iowa's always had a pretty good following up there, and it's kind of growing. Modlites grow in pockets. They don't race at every track every week, but when you see them, everybody's like, hey, those are cute and cool, and but if you really get down to the brass tacks of them, they're a full-blown race car. They're coil-over suspension, 3-link suspension, just like the sport mods. Still driven by a drive shaft, not a chain, like mini sprints or something like that. So as far in the cockpit room, I've been told that there's just as much room in these, some of these as full, I can't even speak, full-size cars. So they got quick changes. Some guys are still running something similar to like a Ford 9-inch, which we run the Toyota Corolla stuff. That's kind of phasing out because obviously there's no new Toyota Corollas that are rear-wheel drive. So today's standards, a lot of guys are going to the quick changes because you can have lots of gear changes.
These cars, with using a motorcycle engine, they've got a transmission with them, as well as your rear end gears, and so there's you can just get gearing just down to kind of crazy specific versus some of these other race cars. So, but we don't have to get that specific about them, but kind of go around the car and just show us some of the features of a Modlite.
Okay, well, we'll start up front here, and obviously our motor sits sideways because it's a motorcycle engine. Just got it's a 4-cylinder, fuel injected. typical A-arm style that the Modlites and Dwarf cars run. The front suspension really hasn't changed a whole lot. There's a couple of manufacturings out here. They have different A-arm styles with different pickup points, but as you can see on mine, you got the front and the back. And on some of the other manufacturers, like I said, they got closer points where they hook in at. Most of it's all Heim or monoball. There's no ball joints to speak of on our cars.
Fabricated type.
Yep. It's bolt-on stuff you can buy from almost any race shop.
Okay.
So, and then
I guess you told us about the rear suspension. I think these are kind of a model of an East Coast modified, or like you say, a sport mod, even 3-link type suspension is the common thing, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. The East Coast mods are the big block mods, and that's where Delaware's from, and that's what the cars used to look like. And now the rules are allowing us to simulate what you see out here in the central Kansas and Iowa area with the IMCA body style now. So you can have either body now, but that's new for 2013.
Okay. Well, I think we've talked enough about the car. Tell us about your sponsors and your program.
Well, I've had Complete Floor Covering with me for, I believe, 3 years. Primetime Convenience Stores and Terry Smith Plumbing, and also Salina Homes with Rick Weber. He's been with me for 3 years also. And also GTM Sportswear in Manhattan and Justin Sane Graphics. Justin Sane's been with me doing my wraps, and GTM's new this year to do my shirts and hoodies. So got to thank those guys. You know, if it wasn't for them, they're the ones that pay the entry fees, the tires, hopefully the everything that gets me to the track, and then obviously if something happens, you got to front that money, but they definitely make everything helpful and get me going.
All right, and what's the big plans for this year? We mentioned Salina, and then I know that there's several of these races with the same rules around. We're going to do a little traveling, or?
I haven't been to Iowa yet, and I would like to go up there. They usually have a 3 or 4 day swing a couple times throughout the summer. We have our schedule locally is going to allow us to probably venture out and maybe do a couple weekend swings. 81, if they have some stuff down there in Wichita, perhaps Green Valley, Missouri, once or twice. So we'll see how much I can get away, but I got to stay local also to keep the car count up locally. So I'll be here when they're here, and when we're not, we'll try to do some traveling.
All right. Well, we wish you good luck on that 3 in a row.
That'd be great, but we'll just see how it works out.
All right.